What is your picture of being in a marriage? Hey, Jason here. If you're new to the channel, I've been an expat slash nomad for 10 years now. I'm on my fourth country, third continent, here in the southern region of Africa, in Lusaka, Zambia. And one of the things I've started doing is sharing with you what I've learned along this 10-year journey. And also, if you're thinking about becoming an expat or already one, just sharing with you reasons why you should actually start out or consider Lusaka, Zambia as an option for all the opportunities that exist here. And so today we're going to talk about the happiness part of my trifecta, which is happiness, health, and wealth. And so we're going to focus on the happiness part. I was watching a video from River TV, and it was of a woman who was saying, she finally realized what marriage really was after being married. And she said, she never realized how much work it takes to have her marriage be successful. Because in her head, the only thing she ever pictured was the reception, the wedding, wearing the beautiful dress, people admiring her, being the center of attention. And it really hit home with me because I was like, I think this is what a lot of people consider marriage. They consider the princess and the prince treatment, this elaborate thing as if they're a royal or something. They're not really looking at the reality of it, of what is your marriage going to consist of after that one day of reception and celebration. People are not going to still be that happy for you. People are not going to be, dropping everything they're doing to set aside time for you. Like, now it's time for you and your husband to go and grow that relationship together. And so with this, it made me realize, like, I don't think there's a true teaching of what marriage is. And there's a reason why there's a thing where it's shown, like, usually the more expensive your wedding is, the faster you're going to lead to divorce. And most marriages do not make it past 5 years before they head to divorce. Yet there's another statistic where it shows that majority of marriages that do last spent little to no money. Most of them actually had just a courtroom ceremony. And it's funny because, before CC passed, I was married for 10 years. We were together 15 total. But we went and got married at a courtroom. I think we paid total maybe $50. And I think majority of that was for the marriage license itself. And it was just us in there, the judge, and I think the bailiff was in there. And we just read our vows and we just signed the paper. And that was it. And the thing was, like, neither one of us valued or cared about that so-called romantic part, the marketing side of marriage, which is spending the dress, saying yes to the dress, spending all of this money on rings, like the things that are not going to build you generational wealth or get your family into starting off on a right path. Because if they say over 70% of marriages end because of money issues, why would you go in debt to get married? You're setting yourself up to be 100% in that 70% category if you're going in debt to get married. Because at the end of the day, bills add up and bills are stressful, man. Like, I don't know why people don't be honest about this. Adulthood is not fun. Adulthood is very stressful. It's stressful if you go to school to get an education. It's stressful then because you got to learn how to budget while you're trying to work to pay off this loan that you don't know how the hell you're going to do it. All those things are stressful. So then if you put on a debt on top of that of, oh, this is the person I love, but now we're going into debt together just to come together with our love, it doesn't make any sense. And it's a recipe for disaster, just to be honest with you. And so I'm actually reading off my notes today. And so what is really a marriage? And this is why I believe we need to start redefining words and re-educating ourselves what things mean. And it goes back to my favorite quote, which is, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write. It will be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And now we're at a place in society where we need to unlearn a lot of our patterns and behaviors and relearn new ones that is going to get us to a better place. And so marriage is the union of two people becoming one. You become us. And this is the problem. So successful marriages are a joint union. It is two people becoming a union or one person. A union is multiple things or people coming together to become representative as one. That's how, if you go to the United States, the Civil War, it was the South versus the Union. The Union was those states that supposedly wanted to abolish slavery, and they were coming together to represent as one fighting force versus the South, the Confederate. And so men and women both need to actually take marriage off the table and begin to begin to understand how they want their relationship to look. So what I mean by taking marriage off the table is stop making it such a high priority. Too many people are prioritizing the reception of getting married. They're not actually prioritizing what the marriage actually looks like. What is the day-to-day activities? You're not having a honeymoon every damn day. Unless you're somebody who's super rich out here, maybe your dad or granddad owns some gold mine or something. Like, if you're not one of those people, let's be realistic. We got to start living within our means. And so you want to actually start understanding, what does the day-to-day life of your relationship looks like. And I'm going to share with you these questions. Well, before I share with you the question, let me say, how do you understand the day-to-day life? You have to start getting one of your higher faculties in order, which is your imagination. Your imagination is not a bad thing. It is not a childish thing. It is a godly thing. It is a gift from the Creator. The imagination is a way for us to utilize the quantum computers that our bodies are. And by utilizing that, we can use the law of attraction or law of vibration to our benefit. And that's how we get the things that make us happy. That's how you physically get them to manifest. And so what I mean by utilizing your higher faculty of your imagination, you need to start daydreaming. You need to start visualizing. You need to start thinking about how that relationship looked. And the way to start getting that tuned up, especially if you're someone who's like me, my imagination was cut off for so long because of working for the military, being analytical. I had to get it kickstarted again. And one of the best ways to do it is by asking yourself questions and going deep inside. And then you'll start constructing that image, or your higher faculty of your imagination will start broadcasting it across your ego, which is the generator of that image. So how do you see, the exercise is, how do you see yourself as a husband or wife? Because if you want to get married, you either want to be a husband or a wife. So, and I say go deep, get emotional, because if you're getting emotional, you're feeling it. Who's walking out there? And then also you want to, somebody out there? Okay, somebody outside walking around. And then you want to feel yourself truly in that relationship. Like, this is talking about the person you supposedly want to spend the rest of your life with or die by your side. So you need to be emotionally invested and feel these things. Remember, emotions is energy in motion. So if you're saying you want a relationship, get that energy in motion. First thing you may want to ask yourself is, how do you wake up as a husband or wife? What are the things you're doing? Are you giving them a kiss in the morning? Are you rolling over, hugging them? Or are you just jumping out of bed, like making coffee or breakfast for them? What are you doing as a husband or wife? And how are you waking up doing it? Second one, how do you eat lunch or dinner as a husband or wife? Now, this may sound weird, but guess what? You're not single anymore. So you're not doing the same things as a single person. You know, most single guys in the US, they're probably used to just eating takeaway, McDonald's, or throwing in a TV dinner like back in the day. But as a married couple, do you want to eat like that? Do you want a home cooked meal? Do you want to cook together? Do you want to go out to nice fancy restaurants? How do you want that to look? Start building that picture. This is how you do these things. Third thing is, how do you vacation as a husband or wife? Now, this one is really big because so many people go into relationships and they think that they're going to be the same person. A single guy and a single woman do not enjoy the same vacation as a married man and a married woman. They don't do the same things. Like, just to give you an example, if you're a married guy and you go into a beach place, you can't be just like enamored looking at women in bikinis. It's disrespectful to your marriage. And so you have to start understanding that and build that image of what those things look like. Because even your marriage, your vacation destinations may change. Give you a prime example. Back in the day, I used to always wanted to go to Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. I'm sure there's no guy in the world that didn't want to go there. I also always wanted to go to the Netherlands just to see the red light district. You know, as a kid, you're always hearing about, oh, the Netherlands, Amsterdam, Amsterdam. Guess what? Rio de Janeiro, after I had got married with Cece, I took that off the table. I was like, I don't want to be around that. I'm good. I don't think they'll be respectful. So I never went there. We did go to Amsterdam together. We walked the red light district. And guess what? The mindset I had as a married man, it was very underwhelming. I was like, man, all the movies talk about this. You always saw it in music and stuff. And I was like, I get there and I'm like, okay, the other parts of the country, the city I like, but I'm like, this part, I'm like, this is pretty dumb. It's pretty boring. And I didn't find the women cute. And we were just laughing and talking. We was like, man, we waited our whole life to come here. And it wasn't even that good to come here, just to walk the red light district. But we had so much other fun doing other things. And so you really want to start understanding that at a deeper level. And then the last one is, how do you speak as a husband or wife? You have to really think about that. Most people, when they have arguments, they speak as the individual. They don't speak as the marriage. And this is why one of the things that I say everyone should always do is you need to set aside time, even if you need to create it at a certain day, at a certain time, and that consistently at that day and time, weekly. What we used to do Sundays was our family time. And that's when we would have meetings, see, okay, how are the finances looking? How are the businesses looking? How's the relationship looking? What are some things we need to prioritize? What are things we need to take away from? And we did that as a family unit because we were a union. And so that's what it takes to get a good marriage, man. Like it's not difficult, but it does take work. Both parties have to grow. Both parties have to give. And then as you come together as a union, you realize you're both better together. And so if you have any questions or comments, just leave those down below. I'll get back to you. And just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.